I have a question.
Great.
Deborah Jean. So I have a massage practice, and there is no massage. There's no safe distancing. I'm very concerned about opening up under phase 2. I know we're not going to be the early part of the phase, but I did write to the powers that be, and my concerns were, the CDC saying, you shouldn't be with somebody more than 15 minutes. Well, we're an hour plus in a closed environment. But one of the bigger concerns I have is the blood clotting issues, which you hear about is a big deal. As much as 40% of the people that have had COVID could have these vascular issues just under their skin. These blood clots are not like deep vein thrombosis. They are just everywhere. And I am really concerned about that. And how am I going to move forward? I do, some deeper tissue work. I primarily do cranial sacral, which is a very light touch approach. But I think this is a really big issue for me. I'm going to get emotional.
You can.
Because I can't hurt anybody. And I can get sued. There's no protection for me legally. And I don't know how to move with that.
So if I can, Shelly, I think you have a lot of probably answers in your mind, very specific for her, but I want to just say something real quick. So for those that don't know Deborah Jean, she's a fantastic massage therapist and craniosacral worker. I've seen her a couple of times, and I know that you are a very intuitive person, and I know that you have so many skill sets. And so since I know that of you, I think whatever Shelly's about to say to recommend for you, there's some of that low-hanging fruit where there's other things that you can do probably from a business perspective. And also because I know you're such an intuitive, compassionate person, I would trust seeing you. If you told me it was safe to come see you, I would say, okay, it's safe to come see you, right? So
figure that
out. Right. So I think part of that is once you have the systems in place and you figure that out, it's a matter of, well, what's the offer then? And that's probably something that Shelly might, help you with. But I just wanted to add my piece first.
Thank you, David. I appreciate it.
And I was going to say that, you took my breath away. I'm going to validate. That is an awful, awful scenario. Awful. You've been robbed of your hands. You've been robbed of what you do for the moment. There's my logic.
I know it's
for the moment.
Here and there. It's just, how do I get there? And I'm feeling lost in the forest.
So you have a very good right to feel this way. You really do. It's just the people that touch us, the massage therapists, the acupuncturists, the people that, my hairdresser, all of the things that, where we touch people. It's one thing to business coach or do therapy on Zoom. You can't do massage on Zoom. So first I wanted to go with my vet, and I want to show you how important it is to validate that I can't imagine losing all of that, just like David, but yours is harder because you have to find a very creative way. So, what I told my kids, they would say to me, Mommy, when am I going to stop crying? And I would say, you're going to stop crying when you stop crying, so you have to feel what you feel. And the second part is that I do wonder if it's an opportunity to explore, if you're intuitive, if you have other skills that you might be able to explore offering now until you open. And only you are going to know when it feels safe. I had someone come here the other day. I had a massage therapist come here. Gloves, wiped the table in front of me, had a mask on the whole time, did not work any near where my face. I had the window open. I felt unbelievably comfortable. So, and she said that she was hit so badly. She's here in Marlborough, Mass. She shuttered the doors. She can't recover. So what she's doing is she's actually coming to homes. She's making X amount of people. And this is all within, you're going to have, like David said, you're going to have to dig deep in what's comfortable for you. But she was here for 2 hours and walked away with $240. So if you make that trip 5 times, you're making a decent week's pay. So, and again, that's a perfect example, Deborah. So if the emotion is running this high, feel what you're feeling, and then see if we can get to a place where you could explore what could you do? What could you do until you're ready to go back?
Is that a question or?
No,
Okay.
I don't have a question. The question is, that has to be explored. Is there something, I'm going to bet you, based on what David just said about you, that you have a boatload of skills that you could bring online? Or maybe there's X amount of clients that you would feel you could create parameters if money is an issue. And maybe you could figure out you're only going to go to these 5 places. Maybe they need to have the screening. I mean, it's deciding what your parameters are. And again, I go back to the low-hanging fruit. What do we need to bring in? Do we need to bring in $4,000 a month so you can eat, pay your rent, keep going, right? And how could you possibly make that? But I do think that's everything what David and I just said, the emotion.
It's high.
and with good reason. But we can't make decisions or plans until we cope.
Right.
So along those lines, Deborah Jean, since I know the work that you do, are you doing your own body work and energy and self-management and care?
Not as much as I would like to. I am doing some. I'm also doing a lot of online catching up on the learning, like repeating my ethics courses and all that kind of stuff. And I've also am looking at, I did a intro to the immune response class, which I thought was absolutely fascinating. And yes, it's very timely. And I found that it reduced, when we were doing the self-exploration, that it reduced a lot of pain that I have from overdoing yoga in my shoulder. Right. So it was nice to have 36 hours of pain-free. And it also validated reducing the inflammation with the cranial sacral work. So that was really awesome.
And well, you did so very positive. You made an action step, which is basically what you and I are saying.
Yeah.
Doing something is better than sitting stuck in the feeling. Have the feeling and then do something. I want to address Susie. You had a question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Deborah Jean. My name is Susie, and you had mentioned legal protection. There must be some sort of liability insurance or something like that
covered.
That you can.
It's not covered. I do have professional liability insurance, and I also have a general liability insurance. You cannot be covered for a communicable disease. So,
okay.
So it doesn't cover the COVID.
Oh, okay.
I mean, for these blood clots. I mean, I'm not medical.
Oh.
Even the medical community is having problems with this. So if I increase the circulation, say in a massage, and that little sticky, because they're saying this is really sticky, the bolus starts to move, and it develops into a PE, somebody can have a heart attack, or they could have a stroke. And I'm not thinking just on my table. I'm thinking, even 72 hours after. And it could be, it was massage. And, we live in a litigious society. And I have no legal protection. Some states do offer that. And I know Mitch McConnell had talked about it. And God, I hope, I don't like the guy, I'm sorry to say. But I would hope that, that would become nationwide. But it scares me that, and I have basic demographics are probably 40, and my oldest client is 93 years old, 94.
Mm-hmm.
God bless her. She's up, she's out, she's amazing. But, who knows? They could stop at the store on the way home and something can happen. But they're going to,
Right.
most of the time, people are going to think massage.
Hmm.
Hi,
Okay.
Hannah.
I've known Deborah Jean for a couple years now. I know she has a deep well of knowledge about allergies, not just seasonal, not just dust, but allergies to chemicals. And I think you can utilize that. I think a lot of people are concerned, especially now, about everything wellness, everything health. And so I don't know if there's a way you can consult on that until you are able to do your hands-on work.
For me, it would be just learning, more on how to become better.
You've educated me so much about awareness. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
So, but
Hannah.
I mean, Hannah, so Deborah, it's about getting past the emotion.
Yeah.
Embracing your own self-worth, looking at the skill sets that you have that are beyond hands-on and that you have, and then start thinking about how to monetize that. One thing that I am as a business coach, I'm very revenue driven, because without the revenue, we don't really have a business.
Right.
Got to drive revenue.